Get ready for a quick quest guide for the Freeing Pirate Pete part of Recipe for Disaster, in which the main rewards for completing are 1000 cooking, crafting, fishing, and smithing experience, the ability to go diving at Port Khazad and fight crabs, the ability to cook crab meat, increased access to the Culinaromancer's chest, and 1 quest point. You'll need to have completed the Another Cook's quest before taking on this one, and in terms of skills you'll just need 31 cooking. While not required, having 15 fishing is also helpful as it'll allow you to use the fishing trawler minigame teleport. Additionally, you'll need the combat ability to defeat 5 level 30 mudskippers as well as 5 crabs around level 20. When it comes to items, you'll need a knife, a pestle and mortar, a regular needle, as well as an empty fishbowl. You'll also need 3 bronze wires and additionally want 5 raw cods and 5 breads. And these cods and bread should be banked at the quest start. When it comes to recommended items, you'll want a weapon and up to 6 pieces of high healing food to help defeat multiple enemies between level 20 and 30. For armor, bring weight reducing clothing and very importantly ensure that your weight is below 12 kilograms at the quest start. In terms of teleports, you'll just want 1 to Lumbridge, but if you're below 15 fishing and additionally don't have access to the Nightmare Zone minigame teleport, then additionally bring along 1 pest control teleport and 2000 coins. Now we'll begin this quest within the Instance Dining Room in Lumbridge Castle, which is accessed from the ground floor. Inside, you'll simply want to click or right-click on Pirate Pete and select Inspect before going through a short chat with Aris, which will officially start this part of Recipe for Disaster. Now exit the room through the door south by passing through the barrier and then talk to the cook and go through the chat before selecting Protecting the Pirate and continuing through the rest of the chat. When the chat finishes, it will automatically resume after a short moment, and when it resumes, ask, "Where do I get ground cod?" Then ask, "Where do I get ground kelp?" Following this, ask, "Where do I get ground giant crab meat?" Then ask, "Where do I get breadcrumbs?" before asking, "What do I do with all of it?" And finally saying, "Thanks," to finish off the chat. It's now time to head to Port Khazad, ideally by using the fishing trawler minigame grouping teleport, or alternatively by using the Nightmare Zone minigame grouping teleport before running northeast. If you don't have access to these, then use your pest control teleport before running north and selecting Travel on the Squire to travel to Port Sarum. Then cross the gangplank and loop around southwest to go south before selecting Charter on a charter crew member and choosing to charter to Port Khazad. After traveling there, just cross the gangplank north. Once you've arrived in Port Khazad, head to the bank and then look for Murphy nearby. Once you've found him, talk to Murphy and select Talk About Recipe for Disaster before going through the rest of the chat with him. Afterwards, talk to Murphy once again and select Talk About Recipe for Disaster, and after some more chatter, he'll hand you a fishbowl helmet and diving apparatus. Now equip both of these and then check your weight and just ensure that it's below 27 kilograms. Also, you'll now want to make sure that you have at least 12 empty inventory spaces. Should you need to deposit anything, then just use the bank chest nearby. Then talk to Murphy a 3rd time and select Talk About Recipe for Disaster. And then, yes, let's go diving, to start a cutscene whereby you'll dive down and end up underwater. Once you're in the ocean, swim north a little and you'll notice some kelp. Pick 5 kelp and know that you'll need to pick them one at a time. Once you've gathered 5 kelp, then continue swimming north until you see some Moga guards. Find the guard called Nung and talk to him before going through the chat with him. After it finishes, swim west to the cluster of red dots on the minimap. These will be rocks. One at a time, select to take 5 rocks, getting a chat message after picking up each one. And after you've picked up 5, you'll then want to enter the underwater cavern entrance just to your north, where you'll be able to access your inventory once again. Now equip your weapon of choice and you'll now need to kill 5 of the mudskippers in this room before picking up the mudskipper hides that they drop. They're not too strong, but eat food as needed and of course pick up the hides that they drop, which you'll need 5 of. After obtaining these, exit south through the underwater cavern entrance to return back to your swimming mode, before swimming east back to the Moga guards and looking for Nung. Once you find him, talk to Nung and go through a rather long chat with him. And after it finishes, talk to Nung once again and just like before, go through the chat with him. When the second chat finishes, swim over to the crab pen gate that's located on the pen's southern wall and try to enter it. Following a short chat, you'll go on inside, and when your inventory becomes accessible, equip your weapon and it's now time to start killing crabs. I'd suggest killing 5 crabs and picking up 5 of the crab meats that they drop, because you really don't want to have to return back here later. You could also get a crab claw or crab shell drop, which you may want to pick up, as you can use a chisel on them for a chance to craft a wieldable crab claw or helmet. Note that crafting these can fail, and also that this is not important for the quest. After you've obtained 5 crab meats, then use your pestle and mortar with your kelp to turn all 5 of them into ground kelp. And afterwards use your pestle and mortar on your crab meat to turn all 5 of them into ground crab meat. Ground kelp and crab meat in hand, teleport to Lumbridge before running west into the kitchen and climbing down the trap door before running northeast and selecting to bank. Withdraw 5 cod and 5 bread from the bank, and afterwards use your pestle and mortar on your raw cod to make 5 ground cod. Afterwards use your knife on your bread and select to make breadcrumbs, turning each bread into some breadcrumbs, and afterwards run southwest and climb up the ladder. Now talk to the cook and select protecting the pirate before going through the dialogue with him. Once it finishes, use any fish cake ingredient on another different fish cake ingredient 5 times to obtain 5 raw fish cakes, and then use the fish cake on the cooking range before confirming to cook all of them. There's a chance you can burn these, but it's okay because you only need to cook 1 of the 5 fish cakes successfully. You just need 1. After you have at least 1 cooked fish cake, head through the northern door in the kitchen to enter the dining room, before running a little north. Now being very careful not to eat it, right click and select to use your cooked fish cake on Pirate Pete before BAM! Quest complete. You'll be awarded 1000 cooking, crafting, fishing and smithing experience, the ability to go diving and fight crabs, the ability to cook crab meat, increased access to the Culinaromancer's chest, and 1 quest point. Thanks so much for watching, catch you in the next quest.